Hey everyone, this is Genesis. I'm coming back to you with a video about degeneration, not dissension, degeneration. And this is going to be like a little survival game that I'm making that's a lot more co-op focused about finding a cure with ever increasing difficulty of actually difficult zombies and not ones that just slowly walk at you like fucking idiots. So if that's something you're interested in, be looking for this because I'm going to be developing it here. So this is kind of like a tutorial as well as tutorial of some interesting codes if you're getting into Arma or just coding in general. Some good ways to write code, and also showing off one of my new systems. Well, kind of creating it right now. So we're doing a lot of things in one. For one, I'm using Trinurus Redux, which is a beautiful rendition of Trinurus or Trinaris. I like to call it Trinurus. It's more kind of run down. It's like apocalyptic, so I love it. Well, I always wanted to make a survival game where you actually have to explore the map in Arma. So I have a map right now. You can see there's nothing here, which is fine. Like if you're playing with friends, you can still make marks and stuff. You know, so like here's here. Let's go. I'm here, which is great. But the problem is you don't know where you actually are. You don't know where the towns are. You don't know if you're going to run into any heavy population centers. And then depending on what server you're on, like I plan on having, there's not going to be any player markers here. So you're going to be completely lost of where you exactly are. So how did I do this? Well, I did it by generating a marker. Every kilometer over the map has a black marker over it. Now, if you've used markers before, you know that they're not that black usually. So there's 7 markers on top of each other. Next kilometer, 7 markers. Next kilometer, 7 markers. Next kilometer, 7 markers. Well, that's cool and all. That's great. But how many markers does that end up as? 2,720. And you're probably thinking, well, that's not too big of a deal. You know, 2,720 markers aren't going to impact frame rate, which you were correct. I'm still getting some beautiful frame here right now. She's like, what's the big deal? Well, here's the thing. What I want to do is create a system of, as I'm exploring around, I want the map to slowly reveal itself. Once I have a map in my inventory, only if I have a map does the map begin to kind of explore or reveal itself, deleting one marker at a time until it becomes more and more and more visible. Right? So, okay, that sounds doable. So there's a couple of ways maybe you could approach that. You're saying I have some of these completed already. I did some speed tests here. I already have a solution to this, but this is a really good example of showing you why that you do it this way. So I was thinking one approach was, well, we can go ahead and where's the other one? Where is my other one? Do I have another one here? Nope. We can go ahead and just, for every marker, see if it's less than 505 meters away, and we can put them all into a giant array. Right? And we get all the markers within a certain distance from the player. Okay. Well, let's see how long this command takes to activate on average. So you can see in the bottom left, it's generating, and it's going to do 1,000. So the code, you see my frame rate's dropping a lot. This code is going to generate 1,000 times, which I'm kind of regretting doing that much right now. And it's going to give us an average of all, how long it took to actually complete that function. Okay. Now, this is only going to be accurate for purposes of my testing. The way I do it is very specific to what I use. And of course, this is going to be different between loading as well. Like loading screens, everything loads like 10 times faster. I'm not rendering anything else in loading screens, right? But I'm running the world, and I have to follow a lot of the different rules here. So this lets us get a good idea, at least for me, of what's more efficient, what's going to be the quickest way. Because we want something to run quick, because the idea is this function is going to be looping forever. It's always going to be constantly checking the closest one. So the problem is, bam, that took 51.2338 milliseconds to run. 51.2338 milliseconds to run. Okay. That's a long time for a function run. Well, you're probably wondering, like, well, why is that a big deal? Why is it such a big deal? Well, you can see here how I'm turning my head with my track IR here. I'm spamming execute on this. And you can see it's a little like jumpy. If you look like the grass kind, I don't know if you can see it really well on YouTube. So imagine you're playing, and every 5 seconds, your smoothness is interrupted by some micro stutter. Not ideal. That is definitely not ideal. So, okay, maybe there's a different attempt we can do. This is 51 seconds. We want to get this number as low as possible. 51 milliseconds is enough for me to really notice a hiccup. Okay. Well, there's this new find if command that we have, right? Okay. So this is probably about as good as we can get it. Now, and this one right here is an exit width. So maybe if we change the then, so we don't get them all in an array, we just do an exit with. So once it finds a single one, it exits with this. So let's go ahead and run that as well. Let's see how long that takes on average. Bam. Hey, that looks much faster. Okay, you can kind of see in the bottom left the number of trials here. That looks much faster. Okay. I'm noticing my frame rate is down from 145 to 28 just because I'm executing so much code so fast. That's fine. I can still kind of look around, you know. Okay. Not too bad, not too bad. With my green screen on there. Alright. Bam. Okay. So that took roughly about 27 milliseconds. Alright, so that's much better than 51. Well, that is, you know, half the time. Oh, I'm still getting a little stutter. It's not as noticeable, but it's still a little stutter, and I don't like anything being above 1 millisecond. I really don't like one command being above 1 millisecond. So this is better at 27 milliseconds, but it's still noticeable. And then if you have that on top of other functions running, still not great. Okay, what if this new find if command, right? We have this new find if command that's supposed to help. It's going to return the index of what we're looking for. That one looks even faster. Okay. I guess you can spend this time looking at some beautiful terrain. I'm sure on YouTube this is not going to do it any justice here. Especially with the grass, it usually looks really funky. But yeah, so, okay, we're getting 600 right now. Okay. I don't want to move too much. I don't want to impact it too much here. Yep. Alright. So, okay. 26. Well, I mean, it's, you know, even looking at last test here, it's like 1 millisecond. Faster. That is faster. But it's still, like, you can still tell there's a noticeable kind of hitch. It's not, you know, super noticeable, but there's still a hitch. And we're still at 26 milliseconds. That's just too much. Well, there's got to be a better way. So here's something when you're designing something. Any array that's going to have lots and lots and lots of data. It's very important. I'm not going to hit string everything because that's going to be a nightmare. Make sure our count's, you know, let's remind our number. We have 2,720 items in this array. That's a huge array. That's a huge list. You might be like, well, maybe I just can't do this marker idea because that's just, it just doesn't work too well. Or we're looking at it the wrong way and we need to kind of redo how we work with arrays. So if you have a giant array, this is going to be an example, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you know, whatever, like that, and one giant list, like this. That's really slow. But what if you could group like things together somehow and make it easier to find things? So you have all the ones, you know, get put into the first array as they get made, and like a loading screen or something. Then all the 2s get put into the second array like this, like a nested array. This array is not very good. And then all the 3s, you know, and so on and so forth, get put into an individual array. So you're sorting them. And they each can have their own individual, you know, we can use this kind of idea in a lot of ways. And this should be one giant kind of array, like so. So if it looks easier, kind of like this. Alright? Something kind of like that. And there we go. If I can do that correctly. Alright. So we have these giant arrays. So this makes it much easier and more manageable, because it's like cutting a giant sandwich in half. You can eat little bits at a time. I don't need to iterate through everything, right? I only need little bits at a time. So how can we do this with our code here? Well, I'm going to go and back out. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and so I'm pushing back. Every time we make a marker, I push it back to this array, this list. So I'm going to change this up. I'm going to put that outside of the loop, because we have this loop here that generates the 7 markers, or 10 markers actually, the 10 markers per kilometer, right, to hide it. Well, what we need to do instead is create, like the numbers above, a separate list. So we'll do a complete list. We're going to initialize an empty array. And then we're going to push back, each time a marker gets created, we're going to push back that marker into this complete list. Okay? That's what we're going to do. And instead of just pushing back this, this marker into the giant list, we're going to go ahead, and how am I going to organize this? Well, by the position that they're all created on. So the starting position. Just like that. So this is an array. Remember, this is an array from up here. Oh, complete list. There we go. This is an array from up here. This is how I'm going to organize. The starting position changes every time this entire loop runs through. It changes the starting position. That's how I can organize this. Is we're going to have each starting position, each point a marker gets created is going to have its own array. So we can actually filter the markers down by their position, and then get related to the position. We can get all the markers on our list. Cool. That seems simple enough. So I have another spot this happens in down here. So we're going to go ahead and make sure to do that. And you can technically do this kind of infinitely, keep breaking it down. You're still going to get slowdowns depending on how big your data is that you're messing with here. But you gotta find ways to make it as fast as possible. I'm just thinking now, did I reverse that command? Sometimes when I'm like talking, yeah, this is backwards. I don't code very well while I'm talking and explain at the same time. Remember that when you're doing the pushback command, always have the array first and then the thing you're pushing back to it second. Okay. Remember, the pushback command adds it to the very end of the array, or vice versa. Is that a pin? Yeah, it just puts it in the array. It's a lot faster than redefining it, like complete list equals complete list plus this. Much faster, so make sure to use pushback as much as you can. Okay? And then make sure I take this out. And and it's going to be the same thing as up here, so I should be able to just copy and paste it. Just like that. Okay. So let's go ahead and relaunch the mission up. Alright, and we're not gonna do every test like we did before. What we're gonna do is take the speed test here we have. We're going to take the fastest one we had, which is the find if, right? We're going to take the find if now, which remember before was 26 seconds. We're going to go ahead and execute it again. Wow, it's done. It took 0.233 seconds, milliseconds. Sorry, that's milliseconds. Look at that improvement. We went from 26 milliseconds down to 0.23. when you're working with arrays, it is a huge list. It is so important to break it down information. So what does this list look like? Well, this is going to still, if we go ahead and take, if we hint, I'm not going to do everything, that's going to cause lag. I'm going to just hint the first one. Oh, I need to string it. You can see in the top right there that we have the position and then all the markers associated with it. How about the second identity? You can see how it kind of keeps on going. Look at that. So we have something here. Now we can have a function that runs. Now let's see how long this entire function takes to run, just out of curiosity. We're going to go ahead and do another one. So this gives us the index, right? So we can take marker list, and I want to delete them or not. I'll leave them undeleted for now. But the marker list is going to be the map markers select the index, right? Because the find defines the first one that is less than 505 meters. Okay. And then by 505 meters, well, because I'm thinking of the kilometer, it's just, if you're within the kilometer, you should be the closest to the one in the center. It's 505 meters. And I should probably, I'll make it 501 just to be more precise. So we have the marker list. And then we want to do is, you know what, just for simplicity's sake, we're going to take the marker list. We're going to delete at 0. We're going to delete. Sorry. What we're first going to do is grab the marker and delete the marker. We are going to delete the marker for right now. So, and the exact marker is going to be the marker list select 0. And we want to delete marker. We delete the list. And then what we want to do, which I'm going to think about this one, we want to re-update the, or do we need to even update it? I think we do. Yeah, because we're not editing this, so we're just selecting it. So then, we need to make sure we set that big array again to the index, right? What's the new marker list? I don't know if this code's going to work. I'm going to run it once just to see. I just did it off the top of my head. You know, I'm terrible at that. So we're going to execute it. Nope. We have an error. I'm using part delete marker incorrectly. I have a habit of doing things like this. I thought it was delete marker than the marker name. Okay. It's the marker list. I'm goofing something here. Oh. Don't forget. Select index. Select 1 is the actual marker list, right? So that was me even some, you know, a lot of this is debug on the fly. Alright, the command executed. I didn't get any errors. So I'm going to teleport over here. I'm going to see if I execute that. Oh. Boop. Let's see if I broke the entire list. Nope. So this is telling me that I'm not close enough to anything. Let's put it back to 505. I guess I'm assuming that means I'm not close to anything. Oh. So what we're going to do is add some hints in here. System chat string index. So it's going to tell us what index it's trying to pull. And it's not pulling an index at all anymore. So something went wrong. We're just going to run this command. Keep saying error expression x select 0 distance 2D, the player is less than 505. So something messed up about this. Hint string count. I may have accidentally messed up the entire array. Let's see. Oh, that was a mistake. I wasn't thinking there. Oh, okay. Well, we can take this lag moment to kind of take a look at that. It looks like it's mostly intact, which is good. Let's see if I can recover. I might have to restart here. See, I cannot code and talk at the same time. Oh, okay. Oh no, I accidentally hit escape again. What have I done? Hit escape. Hit escape. I hit escape. We're gonna wait. Eventually. Oh, okay. To fix that. Hint quotes. Okay. So, I'm kind of confused with it. All of a sudden, this is not working. What if I just reduce it to 1,000? Well, let's still throw it in there. Yeah. So something about this suddenly broke. Even though it looks like what I meant to do is hint string. I will select 5. You can see it's still in there. So there should be markers around here somewhere that we're looking at. Let's look at marker 200. Yeah? And xlog 0 should be this right here. Right? So this should be going through each one, find if. And I'm kind of confused. I feel like I did something wrong here. It's the distance between xlog 0, it should be this. And I think that's really confusing. Huh. Why that is not working actually. I'm actually a little confuzzled myself. So what we're going to do is copy to clipboard. I want to make sure my arrays are okay because I might have botched the arrays when I did the set command. And it looks like that might... No? That looks fine. What we're going to do is reload the mission real quick. It was working before. So we are going to reload the mission real quick. And hit play. Remember when we did our speed test, it was definitely working before we even found ourselves an index. So I might have, when I used the set command here incorrectly, I might have messed up the array at some point. We are going to run it again. Yeah, we're not getting an error this time. And we can see, yep, closest one is 195. So we can see that the closest marker to us is in the array 195. Well, let's go ahead and system chat string select 195. You can see there it is. And let's go ahead and make it a little bit more picky here. 501. We'll do 505, just give it some slack. Let's see if it's still 195. Whoops. 195. So we're getting the array of 195. So if we tell the marker list, and we're going to go ahead and move down the next list here, do step by step. So now we want to select the markers from that array. So you can see we take the dgen hide map marker, select the index from here, select 1. Select 1 selects the actual marker array, which you can see right there. Okay. And then next thing we want to do is make sure that we're actually grabbing the first marker in the list. As you can see right there, resource map. It's kind of hard to see. 196 hide underscore 0. And then we want to delete it. Delete the marker. And then delete at. And make sure I'm using delete at correctly here. I'm pretty sure that's it. we have the array deleted and the index. So the index is always, I think it starts at 0. Let me make sure. Yep. Okay. Delete at 1. I'm pretty sure because it's at 1. Should get rid of 2. Okay. Yep. So then it deletes it, and then we want to do is reset the entire list, reset the index, right? 195. Not back to just the marker list, remember. We need to reset it. That's what we did. We also need to have the marker pos equals select index, select 0. Now, since this repeats right here, the select index repeats, I'm actually going to create another variable for it because I think this will be faster. Index variables. So see, I'm repeating this select index command twice. I'm thinking it might be faster if I do this. So that way it doesn't have to execute it twice. Alright, and then we do just like that. So let's go ahead and give it a shot and see what happens. Okay. You can see now, see how it's becoming a little bit more clear? Yep. More clear. More clear. And now we have a little chunk of map. I think there's even one more there. And look at that. Now it's clear. So let's see how long this command takes to run. I'm going to be over here. And I didn't notice any stuttering with that, but we're going to go ahead and launch it over here. It ran 1,000 times. Wow. It really did. And deleted that. Final result is 0.239. Even with the extra commands, that's barely anything. Barely anything. And which is really awesome. So what we're actually going to do, so we have a chance to see it. Might have sleep 2 in the beginning. So I can execute it, look at the map, and bam. It's doing it so much. So the findef command, this also tells us if it runs over and over and over again, that we're not going to have issues with the findef command if it doesn't find anything. So technically, this whole thing, this list here is, there's nothing here to find. But it's not throwing in an error, which is great. We come in here. Oh man, I kind of wish I was away from to use this in the game. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. You can see I'm spam clicking it, and I'm not noticing hardly any. I actually don't see any stuttering at all. There's like a little snap here. You see when my head looks straight, but if I like kind of look up, yeah, I don't see any snap. So look at that. And as the players explore, and say that I'm over here, I'm exploring some new territory. Every so often, I'm going to have this command run. Say I'm over here for like 5 minutes. Maybe it runs once every minute. I'm starting to reveal this grid. I'm starting to unreveal it. Or reveal it, I mean. And it just ticks away. Ticks away. Until you can fully see it. Now you can see there's a town here. Awesome. That's exactly what I want. So, let's go ahead and implement this system. And we're going to make a faster version of it for testing purposes. So we already have pretty much all our code here, which we know runs really fast. You know, 0.23 is still kind of slow. But for what it's doing, I think that's fair. Okay, what do we have here? We are going to go ahead and do a spawn dgn function map reveal. Okay, that'll be class map reveal. Oh, gotta make sure this is loaded. Okay. And all we want to do after the game starts, simply, oops, spawn, have the functions run. And let's go ahead and make this function. So in here, under common, is where I had it. I'm going to go ahead and create a function map reveal to SQF. The purpose of this function is to slowly reveal the map as the player explores it. Now, I'm not worrying about persistence yet. So what I'm going to have in the future is as you learn persistence, let's see, not just learn persistence, in the future as you can save and reload throughout restarts, or even relogging in from crashes or whatever happens, it will save your map progress. But for right now, we're not worried about that. Okay. So we already have the code pretty much done. There's no parameters we need to pass, but we will say that. We'll put that there. And I am going to put an initial sleep for 10 seconds in here, just to kind of have that initialized. And then we're going to have this be a loop. A wait until loop. Why a wait until loop? Because a wait until only checks once per frame, while true can check multiple times per frame. And if I put false here, it'll just infinitely loop. And we'll have it just for testing purposes. We'll have this run every second, just for testing purposes. I'm probably going to put that more to like 60 seconds or so. Okay. And then let's just go ahead and see what happens. Do 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 do. And then I also need to add in a check to see if the player has a map. That will come in later. I might as well get that done now. So I'm gonna give it 10 seconds. And you can see every second reveals it a little bit more, a little bit more. Oh, we got a first error here. So I was kind of wondering about this. Line 10. Identify an expression and marker. So here's the thing. If this doesn't find an index, this will be -1. So if the index is not equal to -1, then and I don't know if I don't know which one is technically quicker, if I do not index is equal to -1, or if I simply do if it's greater than -1. I'm assuming that would be quicker, but I'm not sure. So that should fix that error. And we might as well add in the map thing in there. So I'm actually going to cheat here. I have a very messy old script which I need to probably redo. And dissension. vcom warn. I have a something warn. Closest warn. I think I have a radio. I have to check to see if there's a radio. Assigned items. There we go. I think it's item map. I believe it is. So we will do a check every time on the player. If not item map and check status, then, and I guess technically GPS would also count. GPS. It's item GPS. Is the map still item map? Item underscore item map. I think it's like having it on the ground. If not item map and just, or no, if it's gonna be if item map and check status, or item GPS and check status. I'll make this a lazy evaluation. If this one's true, then we don't need to move on to the next one, right? I think that's how we're gonna do. Oops, that's the wrong button there. Yep, we're going to hit play. Remember, if this doesn't find anything, it always returns -1. So I was hoping to see if I can get away without having a check there for extra frame rate. A little bit extra code to run. Okay. So you can see that, and what we'll do is actually just get rid of the map here. And we'll see once I pick it up if it's all the way gone. I'm sure it's going to be disappearing pretty quick as soon as I pick it up. So we're going to take it. Okay. Yep, you can see there, waited for me to have the map. And we're going to wait and see if we get the error again. And clear. And we still get the error. We still get that error. So the index, oh, the index is still going to exist. Okay, so the index is not to worry here. Okay, we're still going to have that check because it's still possible to be so far off the map. Because remember, I forgot, the marker position never gets deleted. It's still there, even if the marker list is completely empty. So we're going to do if marker list, if count marker list is greater than 0, then we're going to do this, right? More checks. And that should, I think it stops the function from running. Because of the error. Nope, it doesn't. Well, you can see that it's going to work, and now that check, once the marker list is empty, there's no need to do anything else. So as we're exploring. Bam. Alright. So guys, you can see that's kind of a two-part thing there, but you can see the importance of making sure your arrays are definitely organized and set up in a smart way. And you want to make these loops like this as small as possible. This is about as small as I think I can get it for the marker list. It might even be worth it to do a check once that array is completely empty to just delete it. But I kind of like the idea of keeping the marker pos in there. Because if this is empty, then maybe you can, over less than 10, you can even do another loop where it adds more markers if you haven't been there in a long time, or who knows. I'll leave it open. So, I'm going to go ahead and leave that there. It is time for me to go to bed, I think. So you guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.